I made a big mistake in 2025 last year. I took a backseat in my Kindle direct publishing business, and I don't know why I'm saying Kindle direct publishing like very formally in the KDP business. And honestly, I think that I haven't really been having my foot on the gas, so to say, as you know, I've seen other people have it. And I think I'm one of those people that have started this journey, and if I'm honest with myself, I'm not as far as I have hoped to have been at this point, nor when I look at other people and their journey. It makes me feel like I didn't put in enough work, and actually the only person to blame for where my business is at is myself. And this is just like a really honest, hard truth video that I am making, whilst also being quite honest and transparent with you guys, so that you honestly don't make that same mistake. And if anything, kind of see the treasure box that is hiding in plain sight in the KDP Amazon landscape. You know, when I share what KDP is, like for example, when people say to me, you know, what is it that you do for work? And right now I have a full-time job, but before it was like, especially when it's in the UK and everybody is in the, you know, rat race, what I'm doing is out of the norm. It's more of a digital nomad type of business. It's not really known. And when people do think of Amazon, they think of FBA and, you know, selling products from China on Amazon, for example, something like that, which I've never tried and it's never appealed to me, by the way. So yeah, and you know, if you say you do self-publishing, it causes a bit of confusion. It causes a bit like, oh, so do you write books? Oh, do you do this? And it's like, well, no, I'm self-publisher, although I'm not like a publishing house. And, you know, we get to, well, I guess back in the day, you would work with, you know, ghostwriters. I mean, you still can, designers and stuff to create a book, and you find the niche. And it's, you know, if you're not in this space and if you don't sit down with them to walk them through it, it's a bit of an unknown. And then especially people that are not interested in the entrepreneurial world, it just, I guess, wouldn't really, they just don't understand it. And it's, you know, not even people in the entrepreneurial, I can't even say this word, the entrepreneurial world, but in the online space, if you're not in the online space about making online money, it's just very foreign. I guess people right now that are in jobs, even if they, you know, are in advanced jobs, just the idea of, you know, making money on the internet, anything of that sort, doing everything on your own, and just being able to make money with a laptop is just like doesn't make any sense to a lot of people still. And obviously it depends on the environment that you're in. I think I'm taking a tangent here, but the point of this video is to share with you the mistake that I made in 2025. And that mistake obviously is to do with this business. And what is that? That's not taking it seriously enough. That is dabbing into other endeavors such as Etsy, and, you know, other things that I thought were a more lucrative way, or kind of like, you know, the grass was greener kind of distraction, and took a detour outside of KDP and tried these other ventures. And honestly, I think that me having limiting beliefs, me feeling like that, oh, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, I want this idea of several streams of income, but not really trying to make this grow, because ultimately I can make this grow to the point where, you know, you could then use that money to invest, and that could be, you know, you could find ways to make this money stable. And the idea of feeling scared because you're publishing on a landscape like Amazon, which is outside of your control, you know, and there's a lot of fear mongering that goes on online, and it makes you feel like that, if I only focus on Amazon, you know, Amazon could take this away. People that are in this landscape know that, okay, people's books have been blocked, or people have been slapped with a trademark claim, or something's gone on, copyright claim, and their account has been shut down, and then it becomes a black hole, as in, how do you reinstate that account? So yeah, ultimately, so there's a reliance on somebody else's platform to make your money, and ultimately they can take that away. Yes, that is a risk in this business, but honestly, I have been actually publishing for the past, since 2020, and that's never happened to me, because as long as you make sure you do the checks in place, that's as much as you can do to keep it safe, and you're not doing anything where you're knowingly publishing, you're doing the trademark searches, you're doing the copyright searches, you're making sure that you're not publishing into a space where that, you know, phrase has been trademarked, you're not copying someone's book, you're not plagiarizing, you're creating your own spin on things, you're creating your book from, you know, like I said, you're using it as inspiration, but you're creating your own unique spin, and you'll be good. So, but then if you watch too much of that, you could just, and you know, you're part of groups and stuff, it can make you fearful. And I think I've got, you know, sucked into that to the point where then I took a detour into other things, although those other things also are at risk of being taken away. So, you know, everything has its risks, but you need to understand what the risks are and what the gains are ultimately, like what are the pros and cons of the business. And there might be that con, but the pro is it's an easy way to get into business. Well, not easy, but I mean like easy in the sense of you don't need a lot of capital, you don't need a big team of people, you just need yourself and a laptop to get started. You don't need to hold any inventory, you don't need to deal with customer service, which is what I dealt with Etsy. It's very much like once you create that one product that's ready to go on, that becomes a digital asset for life, and then it's the game of being able to use that to make the next book better, or to make your processes better, to the point where you can really scale this business. And you know, after being in this space for years, seeing where I've been able to take my business, but then, you know, as new people have obviously found its success through groups that I've been a part of, or through just seeing online, I've seen people obviously reach, you know, people are able to make 100k in a month. You know, the standard now is to make around 20 to 30k on average a month, and just seeing this has made me understand that I really shot myself in the foot, so to say, by taking a detour, letting fear get to me, having limiting beliefs, not doing the thing, not doing input, consuming more than I'm creating in my business. And ultimately I'm sharing this because I don't want you to fall in the same trap, or maybe you have fallen in that trap, but I don't want you to stay in that trap for too long, because ultimately, if you look around, just do a search on YouTube, and you'll see all of these people that have found success and are making that type of money. And that's honestly, you know, even if people fear like, oh, how will this business be around for 10-20 years, honestly, I've been doing it since 2020. There were people that were doing it in 2012, 2013. It's Amazon, and it's only going to stay. I think it's going to change. The landscape will continue to change, but I think it's here to stay. Without me waffling, going on a tangent, sorry, you know, this is my third YouTube video, but this is just me just talking, and making this purely just about like not making this mistake. So I'm trying to obviously keep on subject here, but I have, you know, with the start of the new year, it being 2026, me wanting this year to actually be the year that I take action. Therefore, I'm creating these YouTube videos. You know, YouTube is a goal of mine, but to then link YouTube to my KDP business has been an pivotal, not pivotal, but that's been done strategically, because I have a goal of creating YouTube. I have a goal of taking this business seriously and really seeing what I can get from it and achieving the things I see other people achieve, because I know it's possible. It's just not making that mistake of doing a detour and not doing the input and creating rather than consuming. And I think if anything you take from this, the key lesson from this video is to create and not consume. So yeah, I hope that this video has opened your eyes. I want this video to be like an eye-opener as to just not to get distracted, and not to let that boredom, once you do get stuck in the trenches, maybe you're not seeing the results, or you're repeating the processes, and then you're not feeling like it's stimulating, or whatever it may be, to know that the rewards are coming, and once that reward does come, the dopamine will come from that, and also you'll see the hard work come to fruition, and you'll understand what this is all about, and hopefully that would reignite that kind of drive and excitement, because ultimately no business is meant to make you enjoy it every single day, even if it was your passion. And you can find, if you're someone that does like to create, does want financial freedom, you will enjoy this business. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then I hope you got some insight from it. I have waffled a bit, but the key takeaway I really want you to take from this is to create, not consume. And that was my biggest mistake of 2025, was not doing that. So I'll see you in the next video.